couple years ago, I made a self-portrait cake, and the world was utterly weirded out. I didn't start that thinking, I'm going to make a cake replica of myself, I'm going to cut into it, and it's gonna be the most normal thing anyone has ever seen. I knew it was gonna be odd. Well, I really enjoyed making that cake, so guess what?
We're gonna do it again.
My name is Natalie Sideserf, and I make cakes that do not look like cakes. And today I'm gonna show you how I made a selfie cake. I made a die-hard portrait cake of Bruce Willis back in Christmas 2020, and would you believe I haven't made a darn portrait cake since then? It's been a long time, too long. Because over the years I've focused a lot on making hyper-realistic cakes of objects, so my portrait cakes have taken a back seat. That changes today. I'm making a cake of a human. Portrait cakes are much, much more difficult to sculpt than cakes of objects. Like, they are really hard. That's because if your proportions are just a little off, the sculpture won't look like the person it's supposed to look like. In some cases, it can look pretty hideous, borderline insulting. So I decided to make a cake of myself again, because if my portrait cake sculpting abilities are a little rusty, at least I'm only insulting myself. This cake will be great practice. I gotta oil up my cake making joints, like the Tin Man. So I covered the cake in modeling chocolate, and I'll use this modeling chocolate to sculpt my face. I use modeling chocolate to cover 99.9999% of my cakes. And that's because it's pretty much edible clay. It's temperature-sensitive edible clay. It's more difficult to work with, in my opinion, but as far as cake sculpture goes, it's tops. It's just the best thing going. That's because you can blend the seams. So I can plop a chunk of modeling chocolate right smack dab on my cake face and then blend it in and use it to sculpt my eyeball. Modeling chocolate tastes like whatever brand chocolate you use in the recipe. So if you like chocolate, you'll likely like modeling chocolate. A lot of people assume I use fondant. I have nothing against fondant, but I do find it a little restrictive. Like, if I were to cover this cake in fondant, I'd shape the face first and then drape a sheet of fondant over the entire thing because it doesn't blend very easily. So you can't just add a chunk and blend it into the face like you can with the modeling chocolate. Whenever I make a portrait cake, it is extremely important to gather reference images of the person I'm sculpting. So another bonus that comes with making a self-portrait cake is that I can easily gather reference images of myself from all angles, with the same hairdo and the same makeup. I'm talking front view, side view, 3/4 view, top and bottom view. In fact, I can get a really good look at my mug by looking in the mirror. Check out this mug. This is a Sideserf Cake Studio mug. You can get one too at shop.sideserfcakes.com. So this cake's looking pretty weird, huh? Something you may not know about me is that I don't take my cakes very seriously. I am a goof who likes to goof off, and to me, my cakes are also goofy. I mean, I take the art of my cakes seriously, in that I like to do a good job and I like to make cakes that people find entertaining. But at the end of the day, my cakes are these super temporary, strange, tricky prank cakes. And if I took them too seriously, I'd probably never let anyone eat them. And that would be a shame, because cake is delicious. Oh, I have got to tell you guys something. After I made this cake, I left it on a desk and then I ran out to the store. Well, my husband didn't realize and totally thought that I was home. He thought that I was the cake, or that the cake was the real me. He saw my cake face out of the corner of his eye and he just accepted that it was me. So I know that this cake is at least pretty close to my likeness. So now that everyone knows what I look like without makeup, it's time to apply some. You'd think putting makeup on a cake that looks like you would be easier than putting makeup on your own face, but I swear it isn't. Somehow it was more difficult. Now, before we cut the cake, I wanna quickly thank all of you for watching, and if you like this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to my channel for new cake art every week. Cake is my life. It is all I do. It makes me very happy, and that's all thanks to you. And there you have it, a self-portrait cake. You know that this is one of my favorite cakes to cut. Not a lot of people get to cut a cake that looks like themselves. So let's do it, let's cut it. just like my cake sister. What a beautiful moment. I'm tearing up. Yeah, that's weird. This is real weird. Bye, guys. I'll see you next week for another cake.